dramatization.
After a car wreck, you may have to fight with a highly trained insurance company rep whose job is to knock your damage claim down and out. It's a bad idea to enter the ring alone against a trained boxer, and it could be a bad idea to fight against a big insurance company by yourself. When the bell rings, attorney Dennis Sperling will be there to fight for your rights. If you've been seriously injured in a car wreck, call me, attorney Dennis Sperling, at 866-529-2444. That's 866-529-2444.
Law. It's been 20 years now, on October 1st, I believe. And, man, I'm just enjoying life. But what ends up happening is you kind of realize that, damn, I've made it. But what about the rest of my brothers? And the sisters too. And so what I've tried to do is inspire young men to speak up for themselves. And that's why I'm so proud of you. And despite what people say and all these haters and hecklers that you have, there are a lot of powerful people looking at you. And, we appreciate your voice because you're speaking to people and speaking on behalf of people who don't have a voice. People who follow my Facebook page, they see I'm basically with my children all the time. But what they don't know is the actual paperwork says I only get them 6 nights a month. In other words, I get them a Friday night and a Saturday night. And I get them 3 nights, 3 weekends a month. Now, most people here in Texas only get them 2 weekends a month. So there's mostly guys, they only see their kids 4 nights a month. And that's been like that for me for 10 years.
Now, why would a judge see that to be fair, especially of a man of means such as yourself? You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure I don't know how long you might have to give spousal support after the divorce or whatever like that. But I mean, it seems like, it would be in the best interest of the children to split the custody, evenly.
It is in the best interest of the children to split the custody evenly, but it is not in the best interest of the state to split the custody evenly, because if you begin to split the custody evenly, then that means that somebody doesn't have to pay the other person child support. And what that does is it starts eliminating jobs in the judicial system. It starts eliminating the attorney general's need to have that section where they, the enforcement of child support. And on top of that, these governments and these state agencies, they get money from the federal government for child support that they collect. I mean, you want me to just be honest with you guys? I mean, this is my opinion. This is not, it doesn't reflect on anybody here, but I think a lot of women use these children as control devices. I think they use it to control the men and no longer are with them. I think they use these children to try to have leverage over the men. And this is just something that's been bred into our culture. I think children are, in this country, a lot of people see children as a means of earning money. It's to get the bad culture, right? So yeah, they use the kids for child support, and of course they don't want to give up the child, even if it's in the best interest of the child. I know women who have children living in horrible conditions, but they don't want to give the child up, even though the father is well off, because if they do, then the money goes, and then they don't have any control over it. And then some of them just don't want to see their baby daddy or ex-husband win. He wins if he has the children. They're losing if they have. So it's a competition. So they're using these children like footballs. And I think that's unfortunate. Okay. And so it's not a race thing. It's a culture thing. Okay. Let me say that again for the people in the back. It's not a race thing. It's a culture thing. I typically have only dated Black women, Black American women. I tried to date the Jamaican lady who ended up being my child's mother, but she was Black American in her culture because she was raised in the United States. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't good women out there, but what I'm saying is you're looking at a toxic culture that does not put the family first. They put the me first. They put the get the bag first. And so it's impossible to have a union with somebody like that.
But it's something that a lot of us go through. A lot of people, they do it and they think, oh, the mom did the best she could. But what about the effect it has on the children? You want to come here, son? How you doing? You finished lifting weight? I'm sorry, man. This is my oldest son right here. This is my oldest boy right here.
What's going on?
13 years old. Say hello, hey, Mr. Palmer. Come on back here.
How you doing?
Yeah, this is Daddy's big boy right here. This is my firstborn son. I was just talking about him. So when he was born, take your hat off, son, so they can see. When he was born, I realized what being a real father was like. And I realized the love. I loved him from the first time I saw him. He's my boy, you know, and I realized at that point, you know, what it was like. And so I knew that the gentleman that I'm named after was not my real father, because no real father would let their sons endure those sort of things.
Hey, what's up, everybody? If you appreciate the format and you appreciate what we're doing here, then make sure you contribute to the Cash App, make sure you contribute to the PayPal, make sure you donate to the Super Chat. It's only you and your contributions that keep this thing going. Thanks.
Actually, Brother DeBell, 5,000 got a question. Is there any way for family court laws to change if men and real women push to change it? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think the fact that you have more women being forced to pay child support and alimony is probably the only thing that's going to make them say we need to change these laws. Because as long as it was one-sided and it was men paying women for the past, I don't know how many years, at least since a lot of years, then there was no incentive for women to even want to change anything, because that's their fallback plan. I marry a rich guy, have some kids, I divorce them, I'm good. But right. But now that women are being forced to have to ante up, I think there is some incentive for it to change. And here's another thing. A lot of those ladies who have sons who they've seen been manhandled by the child support system, they should become advocates for family law reform. I think one thing we should do is we should begin to do away with child support altogether.
It might sound weird, but one of the things I used to say years ago, 2 things that you might want to do in this society: stop watching television and stop playing video games. Now, you could get back to them later, but if you stop watching television, because that's part of how I got my schedule the way it is now. I took television out. So I could, you know, so if I want to watch it, it's kind of like a if I feel like it type of thing.
Right.
And you realize how much, when you're watching television or when you're playing games, you're sitting down doing absolutely nothing. Yeah. And you don't know how fast the time flies.
My name is Dennis Sperling. If you've been involved in an accident, call me and I'll fight for you. I'm not an actor or a celebrity spokesperson. I'm a real trial lawyer, and I've appeared before real judges and real juries on behalf of people with serious injuries. So when I say I'll fight for you, I mean it, and I'll back it up. If you've been hurt in an automobile or 18-wheeler accident, contact me toll-free at 866-529-2444, and I'll fight for your rights.
We got a lot of stuff going on politically. And the question that I presented today for the brothers here is, this is my statement, just because Trump has been voted out doesn't mean that the show is over. 70 million fervent followers voted for him in 2020, despite knowing all of his shortcomings. Trump is a symptom. He is a reflection of how nearly one half of Americans feel. How does this affect Black men? Let's talk about it. And as the opening statement, it was 2021 and beyond, 70 million Trump voters aren't going anywhere. Look, unless you've been living under a rock, you know that 5 people have been shot and killed in Washington, D.C. As of now, related to the protest outside the Capitol building. One of them is this gentleman, Benjamin Phillips. He basically runs a Trump website, pro-Trump website called Trumparoo, where patriots can mobilize against the corrupt, communist, Marxist, scummy Democrats. Here's another one. We just learned avid Trump supporter Kevin Greeson.
Hey, if you're enjoying the content here at Dennis Sperling Unfiltered, make sure you support it by sharing, and subscribing to the channel. And also, hit that little notification bell in the corner so that you'll get notice of each and every one of our live feeds. Hey, what's up, everybody? If you appreciate the format and you appreciate what we're doing here, then make sure you contribute to the Cash App, make sure you contribute to the PayPal, make sure you donate to the Super Chat. It's only you and your contributions that keep this thing going. Thanks.
What's up, everybody? This is Dennis Sperling, and I'm back at you again. This is our second session today. We are building over here on Dennis Sperling Unfiltered. We are talking about being the man about town. We've had several very interesting topics, and so many people have chimed in, and now we are well on the way. We got the preliminaries out the way, the basics, and now we're going to get into the meat of things. Before I do that, I want to make more of like a housekeeping matter. If you want to have a private conference with me, if you want to talk one-on-one, whether it's for mentorship or even, quasi-legal advice, I'll be more than happy to do that. You got to email me at sperlingdennis@gmail.com. sperlingdennis@gmail.com. I'll give you my rates. We'll establish a time. We'll meet during that time period. sperlingdennis@gmail.com. Now, if you've been involved in a car accident, whatever state it is, you can call the office, let them know you've been in a car accident. That number comes up on the commercials. I've run the commercials several times. So you guys, that's easy to contact. But if you want to talk to me about some sort of other legal issue, if you want to talk to me about helping you start your company, i.e. filing the proper drafting and filing the proper paperwork, start by just simply emailing me at sperlingdennis@gmail.com. That way you can talk to me directly. I got a whole mechanism and a whole machine set up to take in personal injury cases. And so all of those run through my office. That 713-229-0770 number. Call that number if you had a personal injury, whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, 18-wheeler. But if you have other business, other legal business you want to talk about, if it's a mentorship, just hit me up at sperlingdennis@gmail.com. That said, Armand Rio, check your email. I got your message at my office. I sent you an email in response. The email is self-explanatory. So shout out to you, man. I'd be more than happy to help you out with that consultation. But hey, let's get back to the subject at hand. And before we do that, I want to put the PayPal up. I want to put the Cash App up. You guys appreciate what you're getting here. If you appreciate these messages, if you appreciate this positive influence, this is breathing life into you. And I'm giving it to you, you know, bit by bit by bit. So you actually have something that you can hang your clothes on. You got hangers now. Yeah, we talked about this. We talked about daytime people, nighttime people, who we don't want to meet. We talked all about that. This is actual food for you, for your mind, to help you become better men. That's the objective here, to help you brothers become better men. Now, these messages are great for everybody. Any man who's listening to this, whether you're white, black, Hispanic, whether you live in America, other places, Asian, whoever you are, these are good messages for men. We're helping to build character. We're building better men, more responsible men, more courageous men, men who are financially savvy. But the subject we're talking, and with social status, what we're talking about today, man, we're talking about social status. We're talking about social status for the point of acquiring influence and status. It's one thing to have money. That's great. It's great to have education. That's wonderful too. But what you want to also have is social status. You want people to know you and want to know you and want to be in your company, want to do you favors. You want people to trust you. You want people to see you as someone they want to be around, because it's those type of people who elevate. It's not just about how much money you have. You could be a multimillionaire, be a hermit. Nobody wants to be around you. But when you couple the financial status along with the social status, now you're rolling, fellas. Now you don't even have to speak. Now you walk in the room and all eyes are on you. Now the deal is going to get done just on the strength of your reputation and who you know and who knows you, who wants to know you. So, and again, your reputation. And that's kind of what we're talking about here today. So the subject at this hour is being the man about town. Keep your private life private. Let me say that again. Keep your private life private. In a world of social media, in a world where people will go so far as to take photographs of their food and tag you at the restaurant where they are at the time, people will let you know when they're on vacation. They'll let you know how long they're going to be there. You are setting yourself up. You are an open book. You have no privacy. People can infer whatever they want to infer based on what you're eating and what you're not eating. Your public posts, your Instagram, what you wore on this day, what church you go to, what house of worship you attend. People know too much of your personal business. They know who you're dating. They know when you broke up with this person. They know they got your whole timeline. They know the names and birthdays of you, your family members, and all your children because you've posted that stuff up. It's just a matter of looking at your timeline. Your private life is no longer private, and you don't know who's watching. For a person who is trying to build their credibility and build their social status, and you want to give a good impression, the impression that you give in person may not be the impression that you give on social media. And people view your social media as if it's the encyclopedia of you. And so the things you put out there, man, I'm telling you, people are interpreting. I myself have experienced that, being one of the first generation of people who've had to experience social media as a young professional. Remember, I graduated from law school, my second law school in 2000. By 2005 or 6, they had something, I forget, oh my God, what was it called? It was the precursor to Facebook. Oh my God, I can't remember the name of it. It's been so old, but there was this other social media. Oh my God, what was the name of it? So MySpace. That was MySpace. And people were breaking up. People were hooking up with people they hadn't seen in years. All sorts of foolishness going on. You see what I mean? It was just, now your life was an open book. People have the impulse to post things up. They want to post things up because they want attention. They want attention, but see, here's the thing. They don't necessarily like the attention that they get. They don't necessarily like the perception that they get. So now, where it was a lot easier for me to say, hey, keep your private life private, now it's even more important, because if you're the person who is able to keep your private life relatively private in the world of social media, you got to step up, because sometimes it's better for people not to know and for you to be able to convey the adequate or suggest the perception that you want them to have, rather than them to develop a perception of you based on what they see on social media, based on your public statements. And trust me, it could go either way. For some people, it goes well. Some people, hey, trust me, I've been there up and down. I had to go through my own hard knocks. People, you're angry, you're blabbing off at the mouth, you're mad because you know, you broke up with your girlfriend or boyfriend, and now next thing you know, you're back together and people are calling you an idiot and calling him or her a fool. You see what I mean? I'm telling you, keep your private life private. That said, here's the thing. The public should not know some things. The public should know some things so they don't think you're hiding, okay? So I say all that to say, yeah, you want to keep your private life private, but there are some things they need to know. But what you want to do is be able to craft your image. So the videos and the photos and the things you put up, family outings, make sure you put your best face forward, wholesome family appearance. Here's the thing, okay? If you don't give people something to talk about, they'll make up stuff to talk about. They will invent things to say about you. All right. They'll infer, oh my God, this guy doesn't have anything posted up. What is he hiding? He must be some sort of hermit or something like that. What is he over there doing? He's hiding out in his garage or something like that. It looks weird in the age of social media. So what you want to do is you want to begin to craft a certain image of yourself. For instance, family outings. You hanging out with your kids, you hanging out with your parents, if you have parents or you have a good relationship with them, you hanging out with your woman or your man, whoever, you know, you ladies, you know, show nice pictures of yourself. You know, don't just post pictures up there with your booty turned around and your butt in the air. That ain't cool. Fellas, if I ever see anybody on my page who has a photo up with them counting money, drinking liquor with guns up like that, you just shot yourself. You just set yourself back 100 years. You just set yourself back to your great grandfather's days by putting that. That just literally destroys your image. Family outings, that's something decent to do. And when I say put your best face forward, your best images forward, what I'm trying to say, fellas, is don't come off at the stereotypes. Don't do that. It's not just about you having haircut and nice clothes. You shouldn't be on social media cursing up a storm, talking reckless, these sort of things. Even now, you know, when I post things up, you don't see me cursing. Now, there was a time I would say a few curse words, but even now with my post, I don't curse. You know, I don't say curse words. If I do, I'll put an asterisk between them so you guys, and I'll cut the curse words out, because it gives a bad impression. When judges and other people who you may want to get to know, politicians, see that, they judge you by that. Remember, the whole point is you're crafting a personality. You're crafting an image that makes it acceptable for people who are in power to want to do business with you, and for you to be a person who garners power. See, it's okay to deal with people who do that, right? Yeah, they do that, but you're the acceptable one. You're the one they trust. You're the one they trust the best power with you. Power being what? Investments, investment ideas, business. So you want to craft a public face. You want to craft an image. You want to have that. And so you always want to put your best foot forward. Here's the thing. It's one thing to have family outings and family photos. It's another thing to have wholesome family over. And you want to give a wholesome family bill. You don't want you and your mama smoking weed next to your daddy, turning back the 40 ounces and drinking malt liquor or something crazy like that. That's not a wholesome view. That's not a good look. It takes people's image of you the wrong direction. You want them to think high of you, not low of you. So just keep that in mind. Here's another thing. The public should not know your private business. What is your private business? Your sex life. Let's start with that. The one thing I find interesting about so many young people these days, you lead with your penises and your vaginas. What does that mean? You lead with your penises and your vaginas mean you'll announce, oh, I'm part of this, alphabet group, or I'm this guy. You don't need to lead with that. whatever that is, if that's your preference, that's fine. That's not something that people need to, you don't need to lead with that. If they find that out later on, fine, because the truth is most Americans don't accept that lifestyle. All right, here's another thing, fellas. You got or ladies, you know, yeah, you're an attractive woman, right? But we don't need to hear about your sex life. I see so many posts on Twitter with women talking about, you know, their sex life, alluding to this and alluding to that. Fellas, you too, about who you smashing, who you bat. That is not acceptable conversations. Okay, this is, maybe we should call this social media etiquette for 2021. I don't know. But the bottom line is keep your sex life private. Don't lead with this. That shouldn't be the first. It's like if you meet somebody and within the first 2 or 3 minutes, they've already told you what degrees they have, their master's degree, where they got that from, what they do, how much money they make. You don't even know who this is. And this person is reading their resume. Now you got somebody else. You don't even know who they are, but they've alluded to their sex life. You know more about their sex life than you even know. You don't even know this person's middle name or their birthday, but you know that they're masculine presenting lesbian. You see what I'm saying? Who has a boyfriend and a girlfriend who know each other. Like, oh my God, like that's too much. You're leading with your sex life. Here's another one, right? And it's gonna sound, maybe you think it's benign. Your shopping habits, right? Every time you go buy a new pair of jeans, every time you go buy a dress, every time you buy a new wallet, you're taking pictures of it, you're posting it up. Okay. Every time you buy a new car, every time you buy a new house, you're taking pictures and posting it up. What that does is two things. It gives people either a good impression or a bad impression. If they're poor and they see you as somebody who's always in the mall buying Gucci and this or the other, they're going to start saying, this person is not this is not a spendthrift. This person is not a very conservative person. This person is loose with their money. This person is not someone that I would ever trust with money. So they're going to judge you and say, what? You have poor judgment. If you're constantly posting up your house and your car, they're going to think you're being braggadocious. They're going to think you're a haughty type of person. They're going to think you like, what do they call it? Narcissist or whatever the words are. People got all these different words. But the bottom line is you need to just not do that. Even going to the store, I only buy organic. You're at the grocery store. I only buy organic, blah, blah, blah. Just why? Because now people who don't just buy organic think you're kind of like a nut. You know what I mean? Well, what is this over there? They didn't realize all this stuff has pesticide in it. You've been eating non-organic food your whole life, and you all of a sudden they think it develops an impression. It's best not to even put it up there. It's best just to leave that alone. Here's another one, your vacations. Everybody has a tendency to say, nanny boo-boo, look at me. I'm on vacation in the Bahamas. I'm on vacations in Hawaii. I'm on vacations in Jamaica. I'm in Miami, blah, blah, blah. Look at me shopping on Rodeo Drive. Oh, wow. Your vacation habits. People will judge you by your vacation habits, by the places you go. Why aren't you at work? People in the Midwest who you may not know, or you may want as clients who may end up being, I don't know, people you may have to deal with at a certain point. People's impression of you, your vacation habits, where you're going, all these different things. People judge you by that. It's best just to not put it up there. Share that with your family. Get a private group text. Share your photographs with your family. If you just got the need to get all that out, if you want to tell your mama you're a masculine presenting lesbian, femme lesbian, just send that to your mama. Let your mama look at that picture. You and your girlfriend that looks like a boy, but it's really a girl. Okay, send that to her. Don't share it with social media because again, you're undermining you're undermining your social status. You don't know who you're dealing with. It's best to be not known than to be known for something that other people disapprove of. I'm just saying, you don't have to like what I'm saying. I'm just giving you some thoughts because I know a lot of people have not told you this. Here's another one. So, and this is a good one. This is a really good one. This is family issues. Now, when I say family issues, I'm not just talking about you arguing with your uncle about whether or not LeBron is helping the Lakers or they would have won anyway. Okay, I'm talking about you arguing with your girlfriend, letting off steam on the internet, bringing people into your private business. You complaining about what your husband did and how you think he's cheating on you. This is family business. You keep your family business and your family issues out of the public eye. That's just not a good look. That's just not something for the public to know. That's something you go talk to a therapist about, or you talk to your family members about. It's not something you put out on social media, because if it's that bad and you stay with them, people are going to look at you a fool. If it's that bad, people are going to look at your husband or your wife as though they're a tyrant, and they're never going to like them. And that's going to be a bad impression on you anyway. And like I said, the fact that you stand with them makes you look like a fool. That does not help you. So I get it. Sometimes you just want to hop on Twitter, hop on social media, post up on Instagram, these passive aggressive posts. It's just not good. It's not good for you to be able to have that image and then try to overcome that image and then garner power, okay, and garner influence from that. It doesn't work. For some people, every now and then it works, but for the vast majority of people are passing judgment on you based on these very private things that you put in. Now, there's a reverse to that. There's a reverse to everything that I've said. There is a reverse to everything that I said, but you got to be careful, because this doesn't work for everybody, and there's still repercussions associated with that. But before we go further, again, I want to give a shout out to Armand Rio. I want to give a big shout out to Kenneth Williams. Thank you so much for the super sticker. If you guys appreciate what I'm doing here, if you like the conversation, if you like what we're doing here, make sure you contribute to the Cash App. And just as a reminder, I'm going to run these commercials because I need you guys to contribute to the Super Chat and the Cash App. Show me you appreciate what I'm doing by adding value to me. That's what appreciation means. Add value, appreciate, something that appreciates. I am giving you information that will help you that will help you increase your value. So you show me your appreciation by contributing to me via Super Chat, Cash App, or PayPal.
Hey, what's up, everybody? If you appreciate the format and you appreciate what we're doing here, then make sure you contribute to the Cash App. Make sure you contribute to the PayPal. Make sure you donate to the Super Chat. It's only you and your contributions that keep this thing going. Thanks. Hey, if you're enjoying the content here at Dennis Sperling Unfiltered, make sure you support it by sharing, and subscribing to the channel. And also, hit that little notification bell in the corner so that you'll get notice of each and every one of our live feeds. The only time black men are allowed to speak is when it benefits others. So hey, this is your opportunity to speak. I want to hear from you. And if you want to make this voice louder and clearer, then what you need to do is contribute to the Cash App, the PayPal, and the Super Chat. I appreciate you.
Hi, my name is Stephanie, and these are my two adorable and handsome sons. And that is my ex-husband, attorney Dennis Sperling. He practices personal injury law and will be more than happy to help you with claims arising from automobile accidents. He doesn't get paid unless you get paid. And as we first wives know, the more our ex-husbands get paid, the more we get paid. So let me help him help you. Call Mr. Sperling at 713-229-0770. Call my dad.
All right, we are back. Make sure you contribute to the Super Chat. We appreciate everything we're doing here. But okay, so next up, right, we're talking about being the man about town, keeping your private life private. The reason you want to do that is because people will develop an impression of you. They will develop thoughts about you that you didn't intend. That will undermine your ability to garner social status. That will undermine your ability to have sway and influence over people because they think you're crappy, crummy, you don't have your stuff together, you're a weirdo, whoever, and they don't really want to be associated with you. That said, what you want to do, fellas, next up, remember, we talked about keeping your private life private, and I said that the public should know some things so they don't think you're hiding. But when you pull stuff up, you should post up pictures, family outings, always put your best foot forward, try to give off a wholesome family appearance, things that you shouldn't post up, things the public doesn't need know. Your sex life, your shopping habits, your vacation habits, that you shouldn't disclose your family issues. That said, there's a reverse to that. But before we get going, make sure you get the likes up. We got 66 people in the chat room. We got 58 likes. Get the likes up. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to this channel. We got some good people in here tonight. You guys, make sure you do that for me. Get the likes up. Go ahead and hit the like button right now. I'm waiting for you guys to hit the like button. Go ahead and get the like button pushed. We got 59. Somebody heard me. Keep it going. Hit the like button. Keep it going. Keep it going. Let's get all the way up. Let's top out here 60, 4 more likes. Get the likes up, fellas. I want to make sure we get all these likes we can get. And then the other thing I want you guys to do is make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you subscribe to the channel, let me know you have subscribed to the channel by pushing the button number 1. Okay, push number 1 if you've already subscribed to the channel. Push number 2 if you haven't subscribed to the channel. Let me know that so I can focus on you. Push number 1 if you have subscribed to the channel. Push number 2 if you haven't subscribed to the channel. Because you number 2s, I'm going to make sure I give you some good conversation, give you some good reason to subscribe to this channel. And that's also the way we know if we got trolls in here or not. Push number 1 if you subscribe to the channel. Push number 2 if you haven't subscribed to the channel. Push number 3 if you ain't never going to subscribe to the channel, no matter what I say. Oh, man. But anyway, yeah. Okay. So as you guys are pushing the number 1, let's talk about the reverse of those issues. Now, if you're trying to connect with people, there is a reason that you would disclose some things about your family life. If you're trying to connect with people, you can talk about some things having to do with your love life. You can talk about things having to do with your shopping habits and your vacation habit and your family issues. One person who did that often was Tupac Shakur, and it helped him identify with the masses. It showed that he was vulnerable, that he was imperfect, that he was honest. And because of that, he was able to win the people's trust. And then people, what? They protected him. They protect his image. Even to this day, Tupac Shakur, you can't say anything about him. If you do, especially on the West Coast, you might get smacked around real tough. You see what I'm saying? So, just think about that. All right. Just think about that. That's one of the reverses of not giving out personal information. The second one, if you want to avoid being blackmailed with scandalous information, here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? We all have a past. We all have done scandalous stuff. It was always that time that you almost got caught, sneaking on the girl side of the campus. There was that time where you got caught stealing from the local store, right? There was that time when you got caught with something in your pockets that you shouldn't have had at school, whatever. You see, these are things that that can be considered scandalous by a lot of people. So what do you do with something like that? It's scandalous information. It's scandalous information, right? In the practice of law, what they tell us, if you got some bad facts, if you got a client who has something that's going to come out in the jury, the last thing you want to do is let opposing counsel, or if you're talking about a prosecutor being opposing counsel, you don't want to let them bring that out. You want to be the person that brings that out. You want to be the person that introduces that information to the jury. Why? Because you can wrap it and pack it in a different way. You see, you can wrap that up. You can put that in a certain way that makes it a lot more palatable. That's why what? That's why you don't allow someone else to tell your story before you do, because there may be mitigating circumstances as to why whatever happened. So just think about that. Okay? Think about that. Now, so this is a reverse to you revealing your personal information. Here's the thing. I'll use myself as an example. As a lawyer, I don't fit the stereotype of a lawyer. When you guys think of lawyers, what do you think of? You think of old gray-haired men, seersucker suits on, that speak, fast and use a lot of legalese and smile a lot like that. Blah, blah, blah. They're here to schmooze you and sweet talk you, and what else do they do? They're here to soften you up. That's not the type of person I am. You see, I'm a straight talker. I speak the language of the common man. I don't bite my tongue, and I put myself out there. And here's another thing: I enjoy my life. Check it out. You don't know any other lawyers like me. For the most part, I'm pretty hip. I speak the language of the people. You guys can relate to me. Hell, I got rap albums. I got, I'm a reality show star. I'm a world traveler. You got to know I'm a little hood. You know what I'm saying? I like low riders and slabs. I got an ex-wife and a baby mama. What else? You guys all know the infamous boat party, right? We've seen that before. So I'm not the typical lawyer type, but the bottom line is you guys appreciate that. You see what I'm saying? And so some of that information could be used against me. Let me tell you something else. If you read my books, Rules to Live By, How to Maintain Peace of Mind and Happiness in a Conflicted World, I tell all the stuff that I've done, from hanging out with my homeboy Sugar Bear, almost selling dope one day, to when I got my law office. In this book, one of the first things I did was rent some strippers for about an hour to come up to my office and have a pretend stripper party. I didn't let them take their bottoms off, but yeah, it was a breast fest up there, a couple of pair of breasts in it. So yeah, that could be scammed. You got a lawyer in there and strippers in his office after hours. All the lawyers from the building came. It was a great time. Ladies were there, guys. We had a good time. Bottom line is, what I'm saying is, I put that information in my books. Why? Because people will try to use that to blackmail you. You see what I'm saying? Most recently, that story, I had a close friend or relative literally tell me that if I don't stop telling personal business about the family, that they were going to go on television or go on some radio station, I guess, and tell everybody about the stripper pole I had in my office back 15 years ago when I first started, practicing law, the party. Now, there's a reason for that. I told people, as I said in my book, I said I did that because I just got to town. I wanted to make friends. I wanted to make people want to be around me. It was conducted in a private session. Everybody showed up. I had about 10 or 15 people come in and out at any given time. Altogether, maybe 45 people came through. They ate, they drank good. We started at about 6 o'clock. We were finished by about 8 o'clock that evening. But the bottom line is, even from that, I was able to get referrals. I was making a name for myself. I was the cool guy, the easy to get along with guy. And, people liked it. It is what it is. It was a tactic. I used it. I wouldn't do that anymore because, I'm a family man. I got young kids, and, I got a girlfriend. I wouldn't do that anymore. But at that age, maybe 31, early 30s like that, that's something I like to do. And then if you understand the culture here in Houston, home of Megan Thee Stallion, strippers are not really they are not necessarily looked upon. They're not shunned necessarily. But what I'm saying is, folks, that's some information, that some scurrilous information, right? Scandalous information that a close friend or family threatened to use against me. And so I'm telling you, it happens. And so what you do, this is a reverse. This is the only reason why you would put personal information out there in the form of a tell-all book. You anticipate these things. You are able to soften up the blow. If you can say, well, yeah, I talked about that 10 years ago in my book, please purchase it at Amazon.com. And you can just look up Dennis Spur. Now they just plug your book for you. They're basically helping you. The more they talk about you, instead of playing the defense, you say, well, you use it as an opportunity to make money. And they're just helping you. You see, and I know you guys are like, Now, if it's just that goddamn bad, like it was just that goddamn bad, you might, I don't know, maybe you need to bury it. But something as menial as that, still, but the principle still applies. But you shouldn't be doing stuff that's just straight up scandalous anyway, like not be expected to get back into, company. You can't, argue away something so heinous like, sexual assault or rape or something like that. They just ain't no getting around. You're gonna be stuck with that. Can't fix everything. But the bottom line is, fellas, those are two reverses of keeping your life private. All right. So look, here we are. We my man Tony 5563. Should we post our job on social media? Hey, yeah, it makes you look good. You see what I'm saying? But if your bodyguard is, jewel thief, probably not a good idea, bro. You know what I'm saying? Depends on the impression that it gives. My man said, Leon Norway, I know those books are only available on Kindle. Actually, no, Leon, the books are available. I have hard copies available. I have a few hard copies left. You can email me at sperlingdennis@gmail.com, and I will send you a hard copy of the book. In the meantime, we got 82 people in the chat room. I know you guys appreciate this conversation. We're just talking about keeping your private life private. Here's the thing. Many of you already know this. You just needed somebody to help you reinforce what you already know to be true. Okay? So this is what this conversation does. It lets you know that your bearings are straight. Like, yeah, that makes sense. It makes sense, right? It makes sense because you already know it to be true. You just haven't had anybody put it in context for you. You haven't had anybody who's in the position that I'm in, who's bumped his head, who've suffered the consequences, and who's had to battle back, making my job that much harder because I got to battle back against all the stuff I was saying back in 2005 and 6, you know, 7 or 8, whatever, when I was mad. You see what people said about, so it makes it hard. So what I'm telling you guys to do is avoid some of the mistakes that I made, and there you go. But in the meantime, join the conversation. I want you guys, if you appreciate this, if you got some questions, you want to talk about this, keeping your private life private. Maybe I missed something. Maybe there's something else about your private life you should keep private. I talked about, your sex life, shopping habits, vacation habits, family issues. Maybe you disagree with me on the reverse. Maybe you think people shouldn't reveal their personal issue. Like I said, Tupac, he was trying to connect with the people. That would be the only reason he would say, even though you was a black queen mama, you was a crack fiend, right? He was trying to connect and let people know, I have endured some of the same things that you all have endured. I'm being truthful about it. Yes, it hurts to talk about how my mother mistreated me and how she was a crackhead. Tupac Shakur went through and told us all this different stuff, but it allows us to relate to him. That's why we love him like we do. And that's sometimes people. So that's the reverse of keeping your private life private, i.e. family issues. So that said, if you appreciate the conversation, if you like what we're doing in here, the link is in the chat room. Okay. In the meantime, bringing up the homie Tupac, man, let's go ahead, right? Let's go ahead and run this video back. I think you guys would like this. But in the meantime, look, contribute to the Super Chat, the Cash App, and the PayPal.
Dramatization. Bad drivers cause car wrecks. Not paying attention to the road, operating electronic devices, and drinking while driving can lead to serious injuries. If you've been the victim of a bad driver, a trial lawyer may be able to help you recover money to pay your medical bills, reimburse you for lost wages, and compensate you for the pain caused by your injuries. If you, your friends, or family have been injured in a car wreck, contact me, Attorney Dennis Sperling, toll free, 866-529-2444. I'm here to help.
All right, we are back, you guys. If you guys like the music, man, you can always find me on the Apple Music, internet. I have actually 6 albums out. Rules to Live By, volumes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and was at Coffee King International and Don Juan Carlos El Patron. It's easy listening. It's music that transcends time. It's something you can kick back and listen to. There's very rarely any cursing on it, but these are things that I did because I wanted to. And you get to a point where you do what you want to do. That's it. These are volumes, Rules to Live By, volumes 1, 2, 3, 4, and then also volume 5, Rules to Live By, and then of course the most recent, released at the beginning of 2000, Don Juan Carlos El Patron. That's in Spanish and English to cater to my Spanish crowd. But that is one of those reasons that even though I'm a lawyer, right, I'm still this guy, I'm still that guy, right? And so you guys have to understand, you got to come up with a balance. I can be this guy, I can be that guy, but I can still live here, drive this, be this guy, and be a guy that did that, wrote those books, and still be this guy, okay? But it's about balance. It's about the perception you give to the world. Look, in the meantime, folks, look, we got 75 people in the chat room. My man Simon says solid lyrics. Hey, man, you know what? I do it as a hobby. I do it because I love it. It's something I enjoy doing. And my man Excalibur, right? Never forget Uncle D is a legend. That's right. I kind of owe it to the universe to put 7 albums out, but I'm just tired. I've done enough. I'd rather focus on TV shows. But and doing that sort of thing. My man Joe Doe said something interesting. He said, throw some lame, boring stuff out to throw them off the scent. If you spend a lot of time around family, colleagues, and they little or nothing about you, they're going to sleuth because they have to know. Right. That's basically what I was saying, Joe Doe. If you don't give them something to talk about, then they're going to make up stuff to talk about. And so, that's why I'm telling you guys, put something up there. I say kind of just stick with the family friendly stuff, giving off a good impression, something wholesome, give a wholesome appearance, and the reason is because you can stay out of trouble that way. Otherwise, you're doing math and you're trying to calculate what's what, and who's interpreting you this way or the other. My man Excalibur said no money phone pic. Yeah, that's right, Excalibur. No phone pics, man. I don't do that stuff anymore. No money pics. Don't do it. It's not cool. You know what I'm saying? Look at all these people that they put their money pics up. They count their money. Next thing you know, somebody's pulling up on them, putting the pistol to the side of their head and robbing them. Don't do it. It's not worth it. And it looks kind of gaudy. Shout out to Cyrus Sperling and to all you kings out there and the ladies to big hug. All right, cool. I appreciate that. That's a cool. Let me see what else we got in here. I don't have a whole lot of comments here about this subject. I guess this is something you guys have already figured out. My man Javelin Lighting said, you're the man, bro. I want you to come take my place. I want you to come take my place. You brothers, I want each one of you guys to come up and say, man, we got it from here on D, man. It's on us, man. That's what I want. I want you guys to do better than me. I want you to learn from my mistakes. You guys will ostensibly would say, hey, I'm successful. My God, but look how much it took. You know what I mean? Look how many times I had to bump my head. My God, man, I want you guys to take my place. I want you to be better than me. I want you to do better than me. I want you to not have to suffer the consequences. I don't want you to get mad and explode on the internet saying bad things about your girlfriend and your wife because she did something to you. Ladies who are listening, I don't want you to get angry at your boyfriend and say something crazy about your boyfriend, your husband, or your baby daddy. I don't want you to do that. That's why I have these conversations. It's about garnering power. It's about giving off the right vibes and the right image so people want to be around you. You see what I'm saying? This is what I'm saying. Chris Adams says, I have no social media. I think it's the best thing that happened to me. That's cool. You know what I mean? If that's you, that's you. Most people in America, most people in the world, they use social media because it's a very powerful tool. You learn about what's going on in the world. You learn news. People have reconnected with family members. I myself was able to connect with my biological father in 2012 solely because of social media, Facebook specifically. I chronicle it in my books. Social media has helped me reconnect with my biological father after hire a private investigator, all that. So it's a powerful tool if you know how to manage it, just like any other tool. Think about it. They give you guns, but they also teach you gun safety. Social media, this is basically teaching you gun safety. You want to maximize the use and the helpfulness of that tool, but you don't want it to begin to bite you and undermine your ability to do what you want to do. And that is to live a happy, healthy, fruitful, peace-filled life. That's what it is about, peace of mind and happiness. So in a situation like that, man, we just got to develop some rules. But in the meantime, look, if you want to come in, you want to have this conversation with me, come on in. The link is in the chat room, right? Let me see. The link is in the chat room. Join the conversation if you want to. Join the conversation. And then also, if you appreciate what's going on here, contribute to the super chat and the cash app. That's what I want you guys to do. Let me see here. We are going to see what else we got. On that part, I agree. I don't be the LIC the folks want to hit. Right. Right. You don't want to be the person they want to run up on and take the money. You guys want to chop it up, have a conversation about this, come on in. We're going into an hour. I can run another video. I can run some commercials, but I pretty much said what I had to say. If you like this conversation, if this is helpful to you, push the 1 button. Let me know this is something that's helpful to you. If I brought something to mind that, is helpful, push the number 1 button. Let me hear what you got to say about this subject. Is this a waste of time? I don't know. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not.
Hey, what's up, everybody? If you appreciate the format and you appreciate what we're doing here, then make sure you contribute to the Cash App. Make sure you contribute to the PayPal. Make sure you donate to the Super Chat. It's only you and your contributions that keep this thing going. Thanks.
What's up, everybody? This is Dennis Sperling. We are back again tonight, and we are going to continue forward with our Being the Man About Town. And today we're going to talk about, this evening, we're going to talk about the reward system. So here's the thing. Up until this point, what have we done? We've made sure that the woman that's around us acts with respect. We carry ourselves with respect. We know how to put other people in their place, you know, with class and respect. Because remember, the whole point of this situation, the whole thing, the reason that we're doing this in the first place is what? We want to be able to garner respect. We want to be able to we want people to see us in a certain light, so they'll want to do business with us. So they'll want to allow us to interact with them, so we can make money with them. So they'll do favors for us. So they won't be afraid for us. They won't be afraid to have us do favors. They won't be afraid to be beholden to us. This power. This is what we're doing. This is what this is about. And so another thing you want to attend. Another thing you want to be certain of is that your woman is being rewarded, right? Now, what I'm going to talk to you guys about is not simping, right? I'm not talking about simping. I'm talking about rewarding your woman for her cooperation. A lot of us say, well, you know, I need a woman who submits. I need a woman who cooperates. But you don't necessarily know how to properly reward your woman for cooperating, to create an incentive for her to continue doing that. And it requires you to go ahead and analyze women and know what they want. And we can speak generally. Yeah, women want attention. Yeah, they like social, want to be in the social circles. They want to have a high social status, all that. But at the end of the day, man, you got to put some meat on that bone, on that plate for them. You gotta reward them. And so you've asked your woman a lot. Remember, we can go over some of the points that we had before. She's playing her role. She's following the rules. She's respectful. You've already vetted her. So now it's time for the reward. What are you as a man, this respectful man of our society? You're in the middle class, 64% of black men in the middle class, 20% are rich. What's the proper way to reward your woman for all that cooperation so that you can keep it going, man? So she don't want nobody else in her life. She don't want nobody else around her. You know just the thing she wants. Well, it's not that complicated, fellas. Before we get started, shout out to my man, John Smith. First one in, that's what I'm talking about. John Smith, first one in. So we want to make sure we acknowledge the person who was the first one to contribute to the Super Chat. And thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's these things that these donations that let me know you guys appreciate what I'm doing. But here's the thing you got to understand, man. And I want you to put yourself in your woman's perspective. Your woman, she's dealing with a lot, and she should be rewarded because she's dealing with a lot, and it's a lot on her mind. Remember, she's got to deal with you. She's got to deal with your kids. She's got to deal with your baby mama. She's got to deal with your mama. She's got to deal with her mama. And so you got to make it worth her while. You got to give her a lifestyle that she can show her friends and her female family and the haters. You got to do that. So we're going to open the forum up already. I mean, we're just going to open it up because I know you guys have some great ideas. You black men here in America, you're some of the nicest guys on the planet. If you begin to travel, you'll see that you're generous, far more accommodating. You're far more caring, you're far more affectionate towards your children than most of the men on this planet. I'm just going to tell you. And largely because you're raised in a matriarchal society filled with women. So you're a little bit easier to get along. It's just the truth. And so when we talk about the sort of things that we do for our women, trust me, men around the world, they don't do this for women. And I mean, they just don't. They got some of the most beautiful women in the world down in Colombia and Brazil, and they get treated horribly. Trust me. I mean, so it's you guys, and they are sweet, compliant, submissive, all these different things, and they get no rewards from those men. They might get a baby and a slap upside the head sometimes. That's unfortunate, but you got to have this reward system. So I know you guys, if anybody is excellent at rewarding your women, you guys are. But see, what we're talking about is rewarding women, the women in our life, that one woman in our life that we have that's cooperative, that's feminine, that's loving, that listens. This is the woman you want. We've vetted everybody, right? We done already vetted, okay? So this is what we're talking about. So this is your woman. And remember, I know you guys think you're easy to get along, but you're not. Some of y'all might snore. Some of y'all have damn toe fungus. You know what I'm saying? Some of you guys got just grumpy attitudes. Some of y'all you got poor hygiene, or at least it's not what it should be. You know what I'm saying? But but what I'm saying is she's dealing with you. She's got to deal with your kids. You got kids she got to deal with. She might not even have kids. She just now learning these kids' names. You putting a lot of pressure on her. Your woman is dealing with a lot. She got to come home and listen to you, complain about whatever's going on at your job and your life. Even though I'm not saying it's bad, that's normal stuff. But you got to reward her because, see, remember, on top of that, she's still doing the other stuff that women do. She probably has her own life to live. And then guess what? And you put her in this box. You got rules set aside for her, man. You done laid down the rules for, look, baby, you need to watch how you talk, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. This is you, right? Who do you think you are? But you did it, you know? And so she's cooperated. She's fully on board with that. Man, this is a dream, right? So you should reward this woman. Because what that does is a couple things. Well, one thing it does is it makes her say, well, you know, it's worthwhile. You see what I mean? The reason I'm like this with my man, because look at the rewards I get. I help him play the game. I help him play the society game. You see what I'm saying? So because of that, you know, y'all are winning. Because of that, you're accumulating power. You're accumulating influence. She looks good. You look good. Y'all look good together. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, man, one thing I want you guys to do for me, okay? I want you guys to I don't know what's going on. I've been at this. One of my friends, W. Alfonso, says, Uncle D, you've been busy. I'm still trying to keep up, like to support the channel. Thank you so much. I have been really busy and I've been doing a lot of videos, but I haven't, my subs haven't gone up. I don't know what's going on. If you're new here tonight, press 1. If you're new to the channel, press 1. If you haven't, let me say it like this. If you haven't subbed to my channel, press 1. I want to know people who haven't subbed to the channel, because I don't understand what's happening. We've been at 10,600 people, 664, 645 people for like 2 weeks. And I really don't understand what's going on. I think they call it shadow banning. Maybe I should write a letter to Facebook. I don't know. One of my subs said I should do that. But, you know, you guys give me the solution to that. How do I get my subs back up? Because I was getting 100 people a week. Actually, I was getting like 1,000 people a week. It's all the way up about 2 weeks ago. Now I haven't even got any. So I don't know what's going on, man. You guys give me the answers. What should I do? Should I contact Facebook? Is there a phone number I should call? Is there a fax number? Is there an email? Is there a letter I should write? What should I say? You guys, man, somebody give me a suggestion, because we got to keep this channel growing. We got to make sure, you know, Uncle D ain't going to be here forever, man. You know, and I want to make sure that, you know, you guys get a chance to see me live when I'm having these conversations. All this wisdom that I'm giving you guys, this is a gift from God. You know, this is all wisdom. It comes from God. All praise to the Most High for anything you guys find beneficial from this. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let's get back to the subject. Like I said, your woman is dealing with a lot. She's dealing with you, your bad habits, your bad breath. You know what I'm saying? She's dealing with your bad kids by your ugly baby mama that don't like her, don't like you. Then she got to deal with your baby mama, right? At least the idea of her, right? And then guess what else? She got to deal with your mama. Your mama's looking over her shoulder, trying to see what she's doing with her son, all that foolishness, man. And then on top of that, you put her in these binders, and so she's got to play this role that she might not be used to because you've educated her. But anyway, man, the first thing, man, you always, on holidays, man, you always get her gifts on holidays. It's mandatory. You don't skip these days, always. Whatever it is, this is your woman that's helping you achieve, that's helping you elevate through society, okay? This is your woman that's helping you attain power and influence. You always get her a gift. You always get her a gift for holidays, Christmas, her birthday, Valentine's Day, and any other holidays that might be cultural, you always try to do things for her. And you want to make it something of some sort of substance. You see what I mean? Don't just stop off at the grocery store and get some roses for Valentine's Day. That's cheap and cheesy, and it's beneath you as an up-and-coming man, as a middle-class man, a man making upwards of $40,000 a year. You should be able to save up a little bit better and do some nice stuff for your woman that's helping you look good, is making you look good. Okay, you need to make sure you keep that in mind. All right, this is your lady. Remember, with all the stuff that look at the man about town, right? You got to take care of home first. You vetted her. You make sure she was respectful. Okay, you put her in these rules. You gave her some rules, and you got to reward her. And that doesn't mean you have to overdo it. I'm not saying go out there and buy her a McLaren every holiday. That's not what I'm asking you to do. But nice things, tennis bracelets. I like emeralds. Women like emeralds. Rubies. These are not as expensive as diamonds. You can get all sorts of jewels. You can get a whole jewel set. You see what I mean? For a couple $1,000. You see what I'm saying? My man Excalibur says, so the side of the roses for Valentine's Day. Nah, man. Nah. I want you to at least get us some Godiva chocolate or something like that to go with the roses, man. But you want to do these nice things. You want to reward your woman for her fulfilling her role. You see what I mean? Just like she rewards you for fulfilling your role, as she should. So always don't overlook these holidays, right? Make sure you do that, because what does that do? It gives her ammunition to fight her haters off. Why you listening to him? Why you around there listening to Excalibur? He too strict. He too controlling. He do that. He always telling you how to act in public. Girl, you can't even twerk no more, girl. Why you take all your booty pictures off of Instagram, girl? What kind of man is Excalibur? I can't believe Excalibur got you trained like that, girl. And she steady stunting on, right? She blinging here, blinging there. The wrist is looking good. And I'm not saying diamonds, man. Diamonds are expensive, and there's a lot of politics behind diamonds. But those of us who understand the blood diamonds and whatnot, but we understand our people are dying over there digging those up. And they're cutting off children's hands. So, but emeralds, rubies, sapphires. There's plenty of little things you can pick up at a local mall, Zales, for a couple of $100, $200-$300. Thoughtful. Put it in a little gold set, give it to her, depending on her age. You see what I mean? She'll be impressed. You see what I mean? And she'll feel appreciated. And that's not something you got to do all the time. But you always got to remember that. You putting your woman she's in a special box. So she's going to get treated special. That's what you got to do. Look, any of you guys want to join in, come on in. And look, I know Uncle D is not a simp. Okay, y'all know that, right? Uncle D running. I'm not giving y'all. I don't run the game. I'm straight up with these women. All that stuff I had y'all do, the pregame, when I told you, baby, this how it's gonna be, that's how it's gonna be. My lady will tell you, I told her that same stuff, and she's still here. And so I do the same things I'm telling you fellas to do. You gotta have a reward system. You gotta be consistent. Women like consistency in their rewards. Okay, fellas? And I know y'all like, oh, dude, we wouldn't try to hit this. I'm telling you, just you the man about town, man. You the man. Okay. In that phrase is the man. You are the man. Okay. This is how we do it. So next up, taking her shopping, giving her a spending allotment. Okay. So look, fellas, I don't like to shop. Let me see if I can get a witness down here. And I do not like shopping. Well, I'm gonna leave my lady alone. Let me see if I can get her to chime in. I don't like shopping. I hate shopping. It's the most annoying thing I can do. I don't like the lights. I go in there oftentimes. I have a sport coat on. About 4 or 5 different people would ask me if I work here. It's the most annoying thing that I have to deal with. But I go shop and I go with my lady and I try to be pleasant about it. But here's the thing. You got to take a shopping. Why? Because when women go shopping, that's like us going to the bar to hang out with our friends. It's relaxing. They get to feel on the texture of the clothing. They like the lights, the music. They can bounce from this spot over here to this, to that. And then it's just an amazing experience. It's refreshing for them, man. It helps them rekindle their soul. Okay. And so you got to do it. So hopefully you find a shopping mall, typically in the higher end stores, right? They'll have places where they'll have a chair where you can sit down. You can just, you know, put some Uncle D on for an hour and a half, man, and listen to what I got to say, and I'll get you out of there.
Hi, my name is Dennis Sperling. I'm not a lawyer, but my daddy is. Yeah. If you've been hurt in a car accident, call my daddy. You don't need to scream and yell like a little kid. Yeah, no. My daddy will fight for your rights. Yes, fight for your rights. If you've been involved in a car accident, call my daddy, returning Dennis Sperling.
Hello, I'm attorney Dennis Sperling. If you've been injured in a car wreck, call me at 713-229-0770.
Call my daddy.
Hey, what's up, fellas? This is Dennis Sperling. I want to acknowledge everybody in the chat room. First, I'm going to give a big shout out to Volcanus. He says, greetings, this Man About Town series is Patreon worthy. Maybe I should start a Patreon account. I hadn't thought about it, but maybe that's something that I need to think about. But in the meantime, I want to just say thank you guys for hanging with me in here. Shout out to Malika. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and give my man Volcanus a wrench. If he doesn't, I think Volcanus actually already has a wrench. All right, cool. So Malika's here. Volcanus is here. We're going to talk today about another subject in the Being the Man About Town series. Okay, here's the thing. We started off what type of man you should be, your presence, how you should interact with people. Then we went to how you should make people respect you, how you should respect other people, how should they respect you. Then we went and talked about the type of ladies and how you get them to show you respect and weed out the ones that don't. And then yesterday we went over what? We went over the boundaries, the rules, and her duties in the relationship, basically her role and the rules that you have to relationship. So now here's the thing. Some women just can't be taught. Some women just can't be redeemed. Some women are just, it's fool's gold to even try to deal with that when you're trying to make social inroads, when you're trying to accumulate power and real influence, staying power, where you don't have people, undermining you for whatever reasons that you don't want. Here's the thing. When you're choosing your woman, there are a lot of beautiful women out there. They're gorgeous women all throughout the world. Okay. That's not the issue. You're not going to have that problem. But see, here's the thing. And I'm going to say this, the old adage, there's an old saying that you can't turn a garden tool into a wife, right? You can't turn a garden tool status into a housewife status either. So what does that mean? What that means is if you got a woman and you like her and you want her and all that, that's all fine and dandy. But if you're in the process of trying to accumulate power, if she has that status of a promiscuous woman, she's always going to have that status. Look at somebody like Marilyn Monroe. We hold her up as, this great actress or singer or personality. But at the end of the day, she's still considered a promiscuous woman. Remember, she was the one that messed around with the Kennedys and a whole slew of other folks. And so because of that, she'll never be able to live that down. And so that's pretty much the precedent that we're starting off with. Now, here we go. I'm going to get you guys going with the Cash App and the PayPal. I hope you guys contribute. We're going to go ahead and just because this is going to be a hot topic and a quick show, we're going to go ahead and open up the chat line, open up the line here. If you're in the house, please go ahead and type 1 and let me know where you're and let me know you're here. I'm going to put join the conversation because this is a concept. This is not anything new. This is not something that I have to explain in any depth. You guys already get it. The thing that I have to do is put it in the context for this particular show. So come on, join the chat room. In the meantime, push the number 1 if you can hear me. We got 31 people in the chat room. I know that nobody's getting any notices. I figured that out right now. I am being blackmail balled by Facebook, right? I'm being shadow banned or something like that, but it doesn't matter. The word is still going to get out. Push the number 1 button. If you're here, let me know you guys are here. Shout out to Dre. Thank you, Dre. As you push the 1, Lil Ernest, thank you so much. Let me know you guys are here. Everybody who's here, let's get the chat room going. Who else is here? We got Dre, Lil Ernest. Who else we got in here? Push the number 1 button if you can hear my voice. And, of course, we got Volcanus and Malika here. But here's the thing, push the number 1 button when you get in. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. All right, so we got everything streaming on the bottom. Okay, so here's the thing. Once a woman is deemed to be 304, she's always going to have that. And the reason is because that stigma is associated with it. And the crazy thing is, it's not so much the men, but the women. The women will always stigmatize her. Why? Because if she's known as a promiscuous woman, then what? Then their man is up for grabs. She might be the home wrecker that comes and wrecks their home. And so women have an eye on those women. That's why, irregardless of what they say, or regardless of what they say about Kim Kardashian, most women still see her as promiscuous, and the 3-letter word for promiscuous. And so because of that, she'll never live that down. It doesn't matter how many law degrees she achieves, or how many black people she frees. And that's a wonderful thing. All that means is she's just a promiscuous woman with redeeming qualities. Okay? So a promiscuous woman with redeeming qualities, that's great, but she's still a promiscuous woman. Now, when we look at the situation with Kanye West and his lovely wife, Kim K, that lovely lady, Queen Tut, if you want to come in, go ahead and come back in. If you look at the situation between Kanye and Kim, it seems like they've been married 20 years, but they've only been married 6 years. But we've gone up and down with this guy, right? Like, we've seen it back and forth. And, you know, if you guys remember a little bit about Kim Kardashian, she was married twice before, once to some guy, and then next time to a basketball player. And then she divorced him and ended up with Kanye West. Now, there's nothing wrong with getting divorced and getting married. I get it. It happens. The problem is she had already been labeled a 304 as a result of her sex tape with my man Ray J. Okay? And so that said, she was already labeled. Hey, there are women who've had more sex than her that aren't labeled 304s. And there's women who've had less that are. But the bottom line is she's been labeled a promiscuous woman. She's been labeled a gardening tool. She's been labeled a 304. And she's not going to be able to live that down. So Kanye, knowing all that, he still decided to marry Kim Kardashian and give her 4 children. And what's the issue? I'm sure there are plenty of issues, but the issue apparently was he had a problem with her dressing provocatively. He had a problem with how Kim Kardashian, yes, this is his wife, right? On top of the fact that you got other men who have actively rapped about having sex with her, talked about having sex with her, you know, and this is embarrassing to this man. I don't care how open-minded you think you are. This is still your wife, and this is still the mother of your children, and it's embarrassing to him. But remember, it was his idea to marry this woman. It was his idea to wife this lovely lady up, and this is what he got in return. Maybe potentially $1 billion divorce. That's what he's looking at this point. And and not so much that, is the issue, but the fact that he will never be able to, she will never be able to. She will never be able to live that reputation down. And he's the guy who wiped up the 304. And so what I'm trying to tell you guys is this. In the context of building power base and respect, do you really respect Kanye West as a man to man? Do you really respect him? Probably not. Yeah, you might not like some of these other people who are in charge or some of these other artists, but let's say Jay-Z. You respect Jay-Z because you know what? Irrespective of what we think about, you know, Beyonce, she still never got the label of a 304. So this is the difference. Now, let's move forward into your life. There's probably no way you're going to end up with a Kanye West, Kim Kardashian type. And, you know, that's probably not going to happen because you guys just, you guys are going to be typical. But there are women out there who are known to be promiscuous. And there are women out there who have that reputation. A lot of you guys think you can see past that. You think you can have it all. And you can't necessarily have it all. You can't have a promiscuous woman with this bad reputation and try to wife her up and she gives off these type of vibes, right? And then think you can take her into company around other people and those men will respect you. That's the concubine of the village. And you wifed her up. And so that reflects on you as a man and your decision-making ability. You will never be that. People may not want to do business with you because they're looking at your choice in women. I'm not saying they won't take your money, but just think about that in your decision-making. Because remember, there are some women that just aren't redeemable. There are some women that just aren't trainable. Now, if you don't want to live a life of any sort of you're an 80-year-old billionaire and you don't care anymore, you go right on ahead, go down to the local strip club, get whoever you want. Nobody cares. You don't need the willpower. But if you're in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, even your 50s, and you're trying to start something that will last, i.e. you're trying to create a legacy, a destiny, a dynasty for your children, then the woman that you choose to be with is going to have to be able to help you get into inner circles and give a good impression. Not saying that Kim Kardashian isn't a lovely, intelligent woman who's clearly talented in many different things. I'm simply saying that you don't have, most of us who just entered into the middle class, who are now just making six figures or more. We don't really need that extra stress when we're trying to move our way through social circles. We don't want people ostracizing us because our wife is, has a reputation for being, promiscuous. And it doesn't have to be broadcast on TV or the internet. Word gets around. Okay. So, you just want to make sure, you want to make sure that you make these right decisions. This is what I'm trying to tell you guys. All right. You want to make sure. Look at the situation with Cardi B and Offset. Now, for the most part, if you look at these two, they're two artists. They do provocative stuff. They do this. They make this type of music. Bottom line is, he has a problem with her because what? Because she dressed her lyrics in her song. But this is the stuff she's been doing. And if you know her, what was she before? She was an exotic dancer. But now he's complaining about her, and even in one of the videos, right? He says he kind of made her fun about the fact that in her WAP song she says she doesn't cook, she doesn't clean. But in reality, he put a picture up of her cooking and cleaning, right? And so even this guy, who's an artist guy, he has certain standards, right? He realizes this is making me look bad. Otherwise, he wouldn't say anything about it, So just think about that. And then lastly, before I go any further, this beautiful young girl, her name is Lori Harvey. And she's Steve Harvey's daughter. And beautiful, beautiful young woman. Apparently, she's now dating Michael B. Jordan. She's dated some other guys. I don't necessarily keep up with all this stuff, but here's the thing. this is not going to end well for her because her reputation is already being soiled. Little Bootsy, as he calls himself, he said, he kind of got reprimanded for saying, I'm not against Lori Harvey, but that's not what I want for my little girl. She's had multiple men in the past, a very short period of time, and she's developing a reputation for being promiscuous. Like it or not, unfair or not, this is the double standard that women have to deal with. And so, fellas, it's not for you to tell people how to live. It's for you to determine what's good for you and what's not good for you. And this is something that you have to think about. You see, these are women that no matter how many rules you give them, no matter how many, what's the word I'm looking for? No matter how many, not rules, no matter how many different roles you want them to play and the rules in the relationship, it's just not going to work. But she's got that reputation so no matter what she does and how she carries herself, she's still going to be looked at socially as a pariah. This is the whole point I'm trying to tell you guys. And so in making that decision, you should be wise. But in the meantime,
the only time black men are allowed to speak is when it benefits others. So, hey, this is your opportunity to speak. I want to hear from you. And if you want to make this voice louder and clearer, then what you need to do is contribute to the Cash App, the PayPal, and the Super Chat. I appreciate you.
What's up, everybody? This is Dennis Sperling. I'm hoping everybody's having a great day this Saturday. And we're continuing forward with our series, Being the Man About Town. And this is a special subject. And this is one of those, this is a fulcrum. This is a cornerstone of being a man about town. And that is understanding the art of generosity. But before we get started, I want to give a shout out to all my moderators. Big shout out to Malika. Another big shout out to my man Excalibur. Thank you guys for helping me out with this, man. I love seeing you guys in here. The fact that people are waiting for me when I get in here lets me know this series is something that really needs to be touched on. I know there are a lot of people out there and they got a lot of great content, but the fact that you would spend Saturday chopping it up with me about things that I think are important, that you think are important, lets me know I'm on the right page. But either way, look, it's time to get cracking, as they used to say back in the old days. And, we're going to jump right on into it. Here's the thing. You cannot be the man about town if you're just some stingy miser. You don't want people, your reputation, fellas, your reputation is your most important thing. Now, a lot of you guys, you think you know me, but you don't know a lot about me. You assume you do, but you don't. The vast majority of my time practicing law has been my lawyer instincts, the reason my bona fides came from environmental justice cases. One of the first things I did, even before I had my law degree as a young law student, was get embroiled in a case where the state of Louisiana was trying its best to, I should say. I'm trying to click this thing up and this is clicking on another one. I'll just slide this on over here for you guys to check it out. Hopefully that comes in clear. And this is one of the first things I did. If you read the bottom, it says David Brown, president of the Student Environmental Action Coalition, speaks to an SEAC-sponsored press conference Wednesday. Brown and other supporters gathered in the background expressed concern that Governor Foster is trying to attract industrial activity by lowering environmental standards. Basically what that was, family, it was me standing with a group of coalition of environmentalists. I personally was in support of the black folks in North Baton Rouge because they were burning a compound called Napalm right next to the Southern University campus, which was in Northern Baton Rouge. Or North Baton Rouge. And so because of that, many black people would be affected. And so this is my activism. Here I am, second-year law student. Actually, at this point, I think I was a second year going in my third year. And I was right there with those people standing front and center, supporting, poor black people, because really that's all you got. You got some poor Latinos, but it's very small. But this is where it started, putting myself on the line, putting my reputation on the line. being out there, donating my time, giving back. See, giving back, being generous is not just about kicking in money. Okay, but that is a crucial point, but that's just not the only thing. You also have to sometimes you got to put your butt on the line for the people. So I say that to say my reputation started way back then. This is where it started for me. This is who I was. This is who I began to let the world know this is the man that I am, giving back. Now, of course, there's other things. We got other stuff going on. There was times when, we can go into some times with little stuff where giving back to the community, i.e. there was a hurricane here in 2017, myself and my little boys, we went out, you see my oldest son over here running back to get some water. And then this is Roman, as you guys have seen, man, he was a little fella back then, helping daddy get water to the people who needed water. We did that because it was necessary, because we're able to, not expecting anything in return, but we did it because that's what you're supposed to do. And oftentimes what you'll see is I'll bring my sons along with me so they can get into the spirit of giving, community service, giving back, doing from others. Matter of fact, that icon, that pictures that you guys see, one of the first photographs, one of the first things I did when I settled my first case, I was probably maybe, my God, I was 27, 28 years old. The first thing I did was go back to my old neighborhood in South Central Los Angeles. I think I settled my first case. My fee was $4,000. I bought that shirt, right? I bought that shirt from, what is it called? The ball. There's a mall on King Boulevard and Crenshaw Boulevard in South Central LA. So I went there and I went shopping. I bought that shirt and those pants. My tastes weren't good, but my heart was in the right place. I went back to my old neighborhood and I gave back. I made sure each one of those kids have $1. And I made them promise me that they would be the best. They would stay in school, be good kids, the stuff that you're supposed to do when you come from an old neighborhood. But that's giving back, never forgetting where you came from. There's been other times I've appeared on radio stations, here in Houston, 97.9, speaking about issues that young Black people face in the inner city. I've gone to speak at Texas Southern, and they've given me awards for coming to speak to them and trying to inspire the young HBCU students to be the best they can be. What else? I've hired young students. This young man right here, he's now an entrepreneur, but this was probably about 6 or 7 years ago. This is his first, job working in corporate America, working at my office. I gave him a job. That was his first check. And, just letting them know, look, man, if I can do it, you can do it. And this is another time where I was speaking, just getting rewards. And these people were happy because they were, I showed up and spoke to them. And, it's not just about what you do. It's about what you do for others. Here's another time. This is the good brother, Muhammad, and Derek Muhammad. He invited me to come speak to the Black and brown people, really the Black people in Acres Home, which is it's a hood here in Houston, Texas. Anybody who's familiar with Houston, Texas knows it, Acres Home. So I went up there to speak, always making time. I know it was a long day. I was tired. But I made it a point to go up there to Acres Homes and let them see me, because even though there are not a lot of Black lawyers out there, and so when Black people see you, it inspires them. They go home, old ladies go home and tell their grandsons, aunties, they go home and tell their nephews, they go home and talk about this Black lawyer that they saw who came and spoke to them, makes them feel good. Here's another time when I was out and about. This was during a heat storm, a heat wave here in Houston, Texas. And I went and bought a bunch of ACs and I gave to them. I didn't know that it was going to be filmed, but I bought a van full of AC units and I gave these away to folks who were hot. This is, because you got a lot of people who are in need. There's always some people who are going to be in need. So you always want to be thinking about folks who are less fortunate than you. You always want to think about people that don't have as much as you do. You want to make sure you show them the love that they need. This old lady, elderly woman right here, she's very appreciative of the AC. You'd be shocked. A lot of these people don't even have AC units in their homes. They live in these old homes. They lived in their whole lives. Their husbands have died. And so stuff like this is the type of stuff I did and I do. And I think there's a picture of me and my boys around somewhere, but I won't bother you guys with that. But you know, even you know, again, speaking at the Black Male Summit recently, and I had an opportunity to talk to young brothers. They don't see black men like this. They don't see black men who are professionals who operate in a world that they seem so foreign and distant to them. And so when I put myself right there in the face, just like I'm doing with you guys, it leaves an impression. So it's not just about you, fellas. It's about giving back. So these are some of the things that I've done. Now, here's another thing. Giving back doesn't always have to be you know, you doing community service. I used to open up my house, you know, and I would invite people in and we'd have a good party. You know, this is me frying chicken. Apparently I had something a little stronger than Kool-Aid in that in that cup, you know, but the bottom line is this is me opening my house up. You know, here it is, this guy you see on television, and I'm inviting you over to come hang out with me and chill and have a good time. You know, oftentimes people would be like, "Oh my God, is it cool? Is it cool to come?" Like, yeah, this is cool. And when you get to my house, when you get in my space, I make sure that I treat you like, you know, like you're the king. You know, this is what I do. I make sure I treat people like that. You can see the pretty smiles on these ladies' faces. And you can see they're happy about it. I'm at this point, I'm probably toasted, but everybody's having a good time. I would have a band in the house. I'd have all kinds of stuff, you know, DJs, band. Everybody's in there having a good time. And I cooked all the food, and I pride myself on being the one that cooked all the food. But anyway, look, you guys, there's a point to this, okay? There's a point. Just hang in there with me. There's a point, okay? Like I said before, this is about the art of generosity, because there's nothing that will get you noticed faster than being generous. Being generous with your time and being generous with your money. You see, you guys, there's another situation, and giving people an opportunity. This is an opportunity I wanted to, as you see, it was a day I came to the office. This young man, he was a mentally challenged young man, and I gave him his first job in a corporate setting. And that was his first paycheck. So I wanted to make sure I come up there, even though I hadn't planned to come to the office that day. But I came up there and I congratulated him on his success and finishing his internship. But these sort of impressions, these sort of things leave an impression on somebody's life. It lets you know, it lets them know, man, you know, I can be something. You know, I don't have to just succumb to whatever condition I'm in, whether it's a mental illness or some sort of impoverishment or something like that. This is another picture of that van full of AC units that I purchased for the elderly here in Houston and gave them away. Let me see what else. You know, and see, the thing is, word will get around, man. We like this guy. This guy is great. You know, this is a wonderful guy. On some more interpersonal stuff, this young man here, he has a company now, Boxing for Bullies. And I'm proud to say that, you know, it was just a matter of me sitting down, talking to him, giving him a good uncle type conversation to this black man to speak life into him. And what happened, man, he took that information, that one little, see, I'm talking to you guys for hours on the day, right? Every day, an hour and a half, right? I talked to this man for about an hour, man. He took that, and now he has a flourishing business. You know, just not only the business advice, but the inspiration that I gave him. And so because of that, you know, he's thankful, and all praises go to him. Another thing you'll see, I often involve my children, my sons, in everything I do. My boys and I, this is a picture of us down in Belize. You know, on this particular occasion, I invited my whole office staff, and I paid for them to come down. And so we had an all-white party. This is us hanging out, me and my boys, actually. We just hanging out, doing our thing. And but I often bring them with me. See, it's not just about being generous with the public. It's about being generous with your own children and your own family members. you know, and I'm not bragging on it, but wherever I go, my kids go. You see what I'm saying? So I'm in Belize, they're going to be in Belize. I go to DR, they're going to go to DR, because we're all one. I'm teaching them how they should operate and how they should carry themselves as men. Part of what I do, as I said before, you saw with me when we hanging out, giving out stuff. I go to TSU, I go to a homecoming event. They're going to come with me. This is them. Look, apparently my oldest son is macking these lovely ladies up early. And but that's part of getting out there, meeting the people. You can't love the people and say you want to do for the people and mean the people well, and you're hiding from the people. And that's why I don't understand. You got a lot of people on YouTube, they hiding from they say they love the people, but they hide from the people. You can't do that. You got to get out there. You got to meet the people. You're going to want to be the man about town. You can't be like that. You know, you guys know I'm a Christian, but as you see, Brother Derek Muhammad is a good friend of mine, and this is not something new for me. This is me and some guys back up at Grambling State University called United African American Men. And this is Dr. Khalid Muhammad right there. As you see, you can see me here. I was a little taller back in the day. That's Dr. Khalid Muhammad and members of the Fruit of Islam next to him. And this is a good friend of mine, Rico Rivers. This is we got all my brothers up in there, man. But you know, this is even though, you know, I'm not a member of the Nation of Islam, these are still my brothers. And, you know, just like there's another good friend of mine, Javon Clark. You guys might know Javon Clark. He's like all the way known through Facebook. I think he has a new channel, but he came to town. You know, I made sure I was a good host when he came, and I met him him and his lovely wife at a restaurant. We chopped it up, we talked. But this is how you being the man about town, being generous, with your money, with your time, with your contributions, with these sort of things. These are important. You see what I mean? Here's another situation. I have a company called Coffee King International. And what I do with this company is I employ ex-convicts, people who need second, third chances. I bring the coffee up here. We distribute the coffee. We sell it, and then we use the profit to hire more people. But this is me down in, I believe this is in South America. I think this is Dominican Republic, and I just struck a deal with some coffee brewers right there to bring some more coffee up. You know, I'm just down here checking the crops. When I meet somebody, I like to go put my hands on it and check their stuff out to make sure. This is one of the guys that was helping me out right there in the back. And, you know, but, you know, I go down there and I do this because it brings business to this country. As you guys know, well, some of you know, some of you don't, but I got a business called Coffee King International. And, you know, like I said, I employ HBCU students, ex-convicts, people like that, because they need a second and third chance. And if we don't help our brothers, especially, nobody's going to help our brothers, you know, and because of that, word gets around. You know, people want you to come speak. You know, nobody wants some stingy bastard coming to talk to them. You know what I mean? You got all this money, but you're not helping anybody. This is me. This is back in 2014. I got invited to Texas Southern as a guest speaker to come talk developmental stuff, you know, teaching them how to be young entrepreneurs. I go to radio stations oftentimes, you know, and talk to them about different things. So this is not something I'm new to. I've been doing this, you know. As I said before, I was in 97.9. The box here in Houston, Texas, having a conversation. And here's another one. Some of you guys might remember this. This apparently has caused me a lot of flack amongst these lovely ladies, because I went on there and advocated on behalf of black men and, you know, and you know, those who may have an issue with the child support system. But either way, as an advocate, that's what you do. But bottom line, what you see me doing is you see me giving a lot of time. You see me spending time. You see me advocating on behalf of black men, black boys, the black family, period. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, I just want you guys to understand that being a man about town, it's not just about you, fellas. It's about giving back, whether you're having parties at your house, whether you're hanging out with people, whether you're spending time with your sons, you know, and a lot of this, man, you know, keeping camaraderie. This is some of me and my frat brothers back at Southern University. This had to be back in the 90s. This was in the 90s, I believe. Yeah. So that's me up there in the back with the brothers. And these are the brothers of This is not my chapter. These are the brothers of Beta Sigma, Spring 98. These are my sands I crossed in Spring 98. But these are some good group of guys. And as you see, you know, we still friends, many of us, you know, and keeping up with each other. We still hanging around each other. And you need that too. You're going to need your clique. You're going to need your group of friends. You're going to need your people. Now, a lot of y'all think that, and that's not just it, okay? What I'm telling you is this. It's generous, being generous. When you with me, if you hanging out with me, right, you're going to be the king of the world. You know, I'm going to treat you like, if you hanging out with me, you're in my section in the club, you're going to get treated like you're number one. Look at you. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's welcome. You know, you see me standing there in the middle, but I'm not the center of attention. You know what I mean? I'm just the guy making everybody, you know, making the situation look good. You see what I mean? I'm making you feel comfortable. You don't have to reach in your wallet. You're just hanging out and you're enjoying yourself. You know what I mean? That was a party in Houston some years back. This was a year I invited all my friends to come down and hang out with me in Miami. This is a boat party somewhere. And we just posted up. Everybody's happy. These three ladies in the front, these are members of my staff. That's my son's godfather. That's my cousin Sherman right there. That's another couple, some folks over there. That's my baby mama. I don't know how she stuck in that picture. Hey, man, let me get up out of here. Anyway, let me see. This is another. You know, when you're a good person, man, people want to be around you. Even your baby. That's my good friend, Lo London. You guys might know her from Bad Girls Club, but we've been friends for a long time. I've been knowing her since before that. That's her visiting me in my messy office. Since then, you see, I was look at this mess in this office. Oh my God, right? That's horrible. But that's what my office used to look like. But now, I got a lot of other people working for me, so it makes things a lot easier. But bottom line is, people want to be around you when you got a good reputation, you're generous, you're a kind person. Another thing I want to kind of hit on, when you out and you hanging out at a restaurant, and this is something I'm gonna hit on later on. When you're hanging out at a restaurant, this is me, my friend. You guys know Brittany. If anybody knows me, you know B. And this is Erica and her friend. And that's another guy. This is my birthday, apparently. So we just hanging out. It's all on me. If I go out with you, it's on me. That's about being generous. And when you're dealing with like wait staff and people like that, you want to make sure you tip because you want them. When you walk in the door, oh my God, the king has returned. It doesn't matter who else is in there. They're focused on you. It's that sort of aura that you have about yourself. See, so look what you've seen me do so far. You've seen me hanging out with my kids. You see me going to places. I threw a party on this yacht one day. I mentioned this thing yesterday. This is a yacht out in Kemah. We had a party on this. This was one of the best parties I had in Houston, but that was a good party. But I filled it up full of people. Everybody had a good time. I drove this big blue Cadillac down there. This is what my yard used to look like back in the day. These are my boys' two tricycles. But I drove this big blue Cadillac. I used to call it Big Blue. And I used to call this one over here Red Riding Hood. You see, I got the switches on that thing. Then I had a couple of gates in the back, about 8 batteries. I was able to get what I need to get, man. But and just being gentle. Let one of my friends drive and never be stingy. You can't be stingy. You see what I mean? You got to tip well. If you want to be the man about town, you want to be considered the king. You see what I mean? You want people to treat you with respect. You know what I'm saying? And admiration and want to hang around you, want to keep coming back. You got to make them feel good. It's about your human connections. It's about making people feel good. And it starts in the home, all your old friends, all these people that love, they're still around. They're still around because why? Because I treat people good, because I'm respectful. I do these things. And, and when you do that, women are going to want to be around you. That just comes with it. This is me, apparently, this is, what was that picture? I lost that one, man. This is me hanging out in Miami. That's June 11th, right? 2021. You got my big ugly feet and 2 feet next to them. Y'all can figure it out. That's in Miami. But women, it comes with it, fellas. It's not something you have to do, but it all starts here, man. It's that generosity. So I say all that because I wanted you guys to see I'm not just talking about this life. I am about this life. It works. I'm not talking theoretically to you. I'm speaking from what actually works. Okay. So that said, we just went over the precursors here. And so let's just go over, let's just break down some quick rules for you guys to think about, because I want you guys to kind of understand where I'm coming from in some order. What I just showed you is, leading with your wallet. Okay, that's not tricking, because you're willing to take care of your friends when they come around, because you, if you invite people out, pretty much you should pay for it. You invite them to the club, you shouldn't be hitting your friends up to pay for half on the tab. If you can't afford it, don't go. You're not ready yet. That's fine. It took me years to get to this point. It took me years to go from a young college student to a lawyer who can afford to take care of these things and do nice things for his friends, but you want to keep that. So you lead with your wallet in that regard. It's a certain expectation. Volunteering your time. You've seen those photographs when I was doing that. You saw me volunteering my time. Yeah, I'm busy. I got kids. I got 3 businesses to run. I got a television show. I'm filming commercials. I got stuff to do. And hell, I might just be tired, but I still would drag my butt up, put a suit on, look respectable, go out there and do what? And speak to the people, because people need to hear what you got to say. All right. All right. So look, we'll take a quick break. Look, you guys, make sure you get the likes up. I want to give a shout out to Luke Oliver. Invest in quality conversations. Love, respect, brothers. Amen to that. Deaky S. My man is back. Deaky is back. Let me see. Giving is more rewarding than receiving. Yes, sir. To a blessed man, but by the grace of God, there I go, is a healthy credo. Amen to that, man. You are so right about that, Deaky. I'm going to give Deaky a wrench, because Deaky has been in here for a minute, putting down good information, always good. So thank you, Deaky. I'm adding you as a mod. Welcome to the team, man. All right, but in the meantime, let me see what else did we miss. Alfonso, got to catch this one later, Uncle D, but I'm going to get the contribution started. Someone match me. Man, thank you so much, Will Alfonso. I appreciate you, bro. But it's about sharing. Everybody, if you appreciate what we're doing, if you like this topic, because this is something new. I'm sure nobody's brought up, hey, man, giving is better than receiving. Be a person that gives. If you like this topic, if you find it interesting, hit the 1 button. Let me know you're in here. Hit the 1 button. Hit the share button. Hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. If you like what you're hearing, hit the number 1 button. I want to see you guys in here. Hit that number 1 button. If you appreciate this, and it doesn't mean you have to start right now, okay? What it means is keep this in mind. This is important. You want to be the man about town. You want to garner respect from other people. You want people to want to be around you. You got to be a giver. You can't just be a taker. You got to be a giver. You got to give. You got to be willing to give your time, your money, your energy, your effort, your brain power. Here you go. I talked to you guys earlier about dealing with hired help and service workers. Whether it's your maids, whether it's some sort of, some worker in a bartender or something like that, you want to be the person that gives. You want to be the person that makes sure you tip them. Don't be stingy. Don't you got $100 meal and you give a $5 tip. What kind of crap is that? Here's a rule of thumb. Okay, you always want to give twice the tax. So if the tax is $5, you make sure you give 10. Okay, that's all I'm saying. I'm asking you guys to carry yourself in the work a certain way so you can get respect. And here's the thing. If you know you cheap and you're a cheap dirt, a cheap bastard, you're going to act like a cheap bastard. You're going to give out those type of vibes. People aren't going to want to give around you. It's not so much about what you say. It's about how people feel about you. You see what I mean? If you're giving off cheap bastard vibes, people are going to treat you like a cheap bastard. They're going to treat you like some sort of, cheap bastard, really. I mean, and that's not the man about town that you want to be. So make sure you tip well. That doesn't mean overdo it. I'm not saying giving somebody $100 for a $100 meal. I'm saying if it was taxes were $10, give $20. If taxes were $5, give $10. If taxes were $2, give $4. You see what I mean? If the taxes on the tab is what I'm talking about. So keep that in mind. That's how you deal with it. You say if you're working with somebody, they do some work for you, you make sure you pay. Giving back to the less fortunate. You guys saw me. The first thing I did when I settled my first case is I went straight back to my old neighborhood and gave back to the kids in the street where I grew up. You see what I mean? In the neighborhood where I grew up. That lets you know what my heart is. It's about giving back. Okay, make sure you do that. Keep that in mind. Those of you who appreciate what I'm doing, make sure you contribute to the Cash App. Make sure you let me know you appreciate what I'm doing by contributing. That's the best way to do it. That's really the only way to do it. You know, you can give me a high five and a handshake if we ever meet. But the bottom line is this lets me know you understand. This is, we've been through so much. This is one of those tail ends of being the man about town, the art of generosity. And you got to have this down. It doesn't matter if your woman's in line. She's going to call you a cheap bastard too if you're not doing nice things for her. You're giving all these rules and regulations. You cheat with people. You know what I mean? You're good to your family, but everybody else can just go to hell in a handbasket. Yeah, you're a cheap bastard. That's not cool. Don't be that. You can't be that guy and be the man about town. You can't garner respect from other people if you treat, restaurant workers and people like that. And another thing, if you got a woman and every time you take her somewhere, she's always critiquing the waiter service or something like that, you know, you need to correct her on that. You need to make sure that you let her know, look, we don't operate like that. If you wanted that good a service, we can stay home and you can cook. You see what I'm saying? Like, because this is not, you're not going to embarrass me. It's embarrassing. They go back in the room, they talk about you. They go back in the restaurant kitchen, they talk bad about you. By the time you leave there, everybody else is throwing daggers at you because you're a jerk and your woman is a jerk. So you make sure your woman treats these people with respect also, okay? Service workers, I've never done waiter work or bartending, but I know they work hard and they have to deal with the public, you know, and these oftentimes these are people who either they're young or they made a career out. It could be either way, but you treat people with respect and you make sure you give them, some money for their time. Being respectful. Okay, so here's another thing. Being respectful, generally speaking, just because you disagree with someone, just because you don't like them, you still want to be respectful. Respectful does not mean you like them. Respectful means you give them their distance, you give them their credo, you don't raise your voice, you don't belittle them, you respect them. And then you what? And then you go about your business. And if you don't want to deal with them anymore, fine. But you always respectful, and you never deal with anybody who's disrespectful to you. You don't have to be around people who are disrespectful to you. That goes for anybody, all right? So, but not to confuse that with generosity, but generally speaking, respect is the currency of manhood. The more respect other men give you, the more other men will look up to you. You got a great man in here. What does that mean? He's well respected. Those terms go together. And so you want to be well respected. And one of those things about being respected is giving back. Those who give back, I'm not just talking about giving turkeys to the hood on Thanksgiving. I'm talking about everything you do as a member of this society, because this is a social thing we're talking about. You want to be concerned about your fellow man. You want to be focused on his well-being also, and his son and his daughter, his family, his mother, his female folk and his family. You want to be concerned about them too. That's being a man about town. You see, otherwise you could just be the man about your house. Right? Just stay there. You worried about the man. Be the man about town. Be the man about town. You want to be concerned. Y'all make sure you get the likes. So we got 40 people in the chat room. We got 34 likes. Acts of disrespect is like stealing from another man. Let me explain this to you. As I said earlier, respect is the currency of manhood. That's the currency. Currency being what? Money. That's the money of manhood. The one who has the most respect, you got the most money. Let's call it money dollars. You got the most money dollars. So if you disrespect somebody, then you're taking their money dollars away from them. So that's just like stealing. That's why you don't want to disrespect somebody, because if you disrespect somebody, you steal from them. And what happens when somebody has stolen something from you? How do you feel about someone who has stolen something that belongs to you? You don't like them very well. That could very well create a vendetta. You have just made an enemy when you disrespect somebody. So be careful who you disrespect, because if you disrespect the wrong person, things could go really bad for you really quickly. Some people have the power to change your life entirely. Keep that in mind. One thing that I've learned, let me give you guys a little example. I started boxing about, was it 12 years ago? Oh my God, 11 years ago now? No, 12 years ago, I started boxing. And after my first 6 months of training, I realized just how dangerous other human beings are. I realized just how dangerous people who are trained to fight are. And at that point, if anybody knows anything about fighting sports, you'll realize one of the most respectful places in America is going to be a shooting range and a boxing gym, because you can get it in either one of those. That is not a place you want to disrespect somebody, because you can lose it all right in there. Okay. And so you just realize, man, you talking crazy to somebody. Oh my God, what this? You are literally putting your life in this person's hand. You say something disrespectful to them, they don't necessarily have to just stop and saying something back to you. Matter of fact, they don't have to say anything at all. They can hit you in behind your head, hit you clean in the side, and knock you out, and lay you down on the ground. And your head can hit the concrete, and you're dead right then and there. That's how that happens. Okay, you guys think I'm not playing? I'm serious. Make sure you're respectful with people. Here's another thing: being respectable. All right, now you guys have seen me hang out with all these women, you know, in these boats and whatnot, but you don't see me doing stuff that's just like just like all kind of weird stuff that you don't see me. I'm still respectable. You see what I'm saying? I'm surrounded by women, but you just see me there drinking my bottle. You see a bunch of women sitting around me, but I'm being you don't see me grabbing on stuff, and you don't see me doing that, even in those situations, which are just hilarious if you really sit back and look at it. But other than that, you carry yourself in a respectable manner. You want to be able to look yourself in the mirror at night and be proud of yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror in the morning, be proud of yourself. Okay, everybody has a different threshold. I'm just saying. Here's another thing: if you got a family, right, show your family. People like to see your family. You see what I mean? That gives you, people want to see family. People don't like to see solo guys all the time. You got a family, you got your mom, your dad, or somebody like that. That's cool. You see what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that. People, it's oftentimes, man, I find, man, dudes are afraid to show their kids, man. Your kids that's your greatest attribute. Your children are your best attribute. Your children, they speak volumes for you as to who you are as a man. If you got happy, healthy children, people could pretty much say whatever you want about you, because your children speak for you. You know, if your children are strong and healthy and smart and all that sort of stuff, man, people can say whatever they want to say, because people are like, well, okay, well, where's your family? They want to, because see, the thing is, the fruit, as they say, doesn't fall far from the tree. So if they're judging you based on your kids. They're judging you based on the smile on your wife's face. You see, this is how people judge you. And so irrespective of what people try to say or people's impression of you, if you got some healthy, good looking, handsome kids, you know, that look like they're well taken care of and look like they're happy, you know, that's a good thing. That's an attribute, and you shouldn't run from that. Here's the thing. You guys remember Pablo Escobar, right? I know you do. Everybody, right? Watching shows and stuff like that. So Pablo Escobar, one thing about him, this guy was a tyrant, but his kids look healthy. You know, he took care of his family. His family was well taken care of. You see what I mean? They, you know, he always was, you know, he you know, his wife, and they always stuck by him because, you know, this was a family guy. So when you see these little dudes like that, you see my boys, you just say, man, this guy, man, he's doing a good job. You know, like, you can't be too mad at this guy because, I mean, oh my God, you know, this is and got the little dog in there. Let me see. I got some more to show you. So yeah, you know, this is me with my lady. This is us doing our little Christmas pictures here. I'm gonna show you. Look at that. Look at that. It's me and the kids. The little Santa Claus hats on, right? You know, we're doing it. Look happy. Look at that. That's a happy looking group right there. You see what I mean? People look at that. Like, everybody's happy and well taken care of. They look good. I'm a little grizzled, but whatever. But anyway, that's important. Show your family. You see what I mean? Show people that, you know, you're a family man. It gives a good impression, you know, and it also allows you to be respectable. People like that. You see what I mean? People like to look at that. You know, this is impressive. You see what I mean? People want to see your family. They want to see, well, what kind of men, like, think about it. Okay, you seeing me, right? This is me and my kids, right? Right? That lets you know, my God, this guy, you know, he knows these are the type of men that he's raising. You know, strong, hard, tough little guys who are smart, and you know, who are going to represent not just me, but also black men in a very positive light. You see what I'm saying? Because that's the way they were raised. Now, I raised them to be strong, tough guys who handle themselves like men wherever they go. And, you know, I got them with the James Bond thing going on right there, right? But, you know, you guys, that's what I'm saying. That makes you look more respectable. By contrast, you know, I brought up Pablo Escobar. He was a horrible man, killed 4,000 people. You know what I'm saying? But some people love the guy because of his family. Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it, but that was his one little respectability thing. But I mean, the man was a murderer, a terrorist, a horrible guy, right? We just have to accept that. But he was respectable with his family. You see what I mean? So just keep that in mind. Yeah, all that other stuff, but he was respectable. Here's the thing. By contrast, look at somebody like Paul Castellano. Those of you who are not familiar with Paul Castellano, he was one of the heads of the 5 families in New York. Let me tell you what this guy did. This guy is like 65, 70 years old. He's got a wife, and he decides to move he started messing around with the Colombian maid, okay? He started messing around with the Colombian maid in the house with his wife, right? And let me give you something else. And then he gets a penile implant, right? So his tallywhacker can, you know, work better while he's banging his Colombian maid in the house, right? And word gets out that that's what he's doing. Lo and behold, what happens? They whack him. And that's Italian mafia translation for they assassinate him. They kill him at a restaurant. I just had to show. This is a picture of me and my little lady down in Vegas at a restaurant. You know, we having a good time, man. This is Miami Beach. I took her to the Versace restaurant. It's a beautiful restaurant. You know, but you see how we dress. We dress nice. We look good, man. We got a nice thing going. I'm sure you see she's happy, clearly. She ain't got no attitude. You know what I mean? She's nice. This lets you know also a lot about, you know, a man by the smile of the woman that's next to her. You see what I'm saying? If she's smiling and she's happy and all that stuff, that tells you a lot about this guy. You know, if you and so that's why it's important, you guys, along with that other stuff, this stuff that I told you and everything else, you want to make sure you get your woman together and make sure you have the right type of woman in your life that can help you ascend. But this is beautiful. I know this is off subject. Look at this beautiful Versace. I don't know if the guy was killed in there or not. But it's just beautiful. I just thought that was gorgeous. But you guys, man, so keep that in mind. All right, keep that in mind. Shout out to John Smith, my man, John Smith, with another 50 week. Man, this is what I'm talking about. Good looking out, John. John, appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much for the contribution. Let me see what else did we not hear. Yeah, so Paul Castellano. So they killed him because he wasn't respectable anymore, right? That was garbage. You know, you don't do that. You're disrespecting your wife. You're banging your maid, you know, you're putting a penile implant. You're supposed to be the head of an organization. They don't even want to do business with him anymore. Much less, you know, he's representing the head of the family, and this is his reputation. It makes everybody look bad. That's me and my lady again. She looks like she's happy. You know, but either way, that's pretty much it. There's so much more we could talk about on this, but I think you guys get the point. You know, you can't be the man about town. People are not going to want to do business with you if they have another option. If you're a tight jerk who doesn't give back, who is not concerned about the community, who's not concerned about his fellow man, you know, you got to find out what people want and give it to them. People need help. If you're the guy that's willing to help people, you know, if you're the guy that's willing to do for people, if you're the guy that's willing to spend time helping people, man, people are going to seek you out. Life will be much better for you, man. You know, I know this is probably not a lesson. I don't want to hear about, you know, it just doesn't work. It's a certain combination that you have to have, you know. I got another little picture of me and all my boys together. You know, I recently cut Roman's hair, so he looks a little different. Me and my little fellas at my mom's house. Yeah. We all cheesing it up in here. That's Dennis in the back, Roman, Elijah, and that's me. You know, this is I believe this is it was September 2020 or whatever. So yeah, that's me and all my guys. You know what I mean? I make sure all of them they taken care of. You see what I mean? They all get the same. They got to do it. You know, it's part of being my son. You know, you being respectful, respectability, carrying yourself in a certain way. And so this is the thing that I'm doing with my sons that I want you guys to, if you haven't had this imposed on you, then you begin to impose this on yourself. This is how I want you to begin to carry yourself. One thing you'll notice in all my photographs, right? You know, pretty much I always was dressed decently. You never see any pants sagging or anything like that. You saw me looking like the part. I look like the part. And that's what I want you guys to do, man. I want you guys to keep that in mind. But in the meantime, the link to the chat room is open. Come on in. Let's have this conversation. We need to have this conversation, fellas. You know, black men got the reputation for being some of the cheapest dudes ever. You see what I'm saying? We you know, and you can't be the man about town. You can't expect people to want to give you more power and empower you, and you're a cheap SOB. It's just not cool. You see what I mean? So just think about what I'm saying and be strategic with it. You know, be power. And my man is. DKS, unmute yourself, man, and let's chop it up a little bit, man. I mean, being generous, being a man about town, being this is all part and parcel. Let me get you guys who want to come in here, man. I want you guys to come in. This is a grown man conversation. Not everybody's going to understand this. You know, this is not and it's not about how much money you have. It's about your heart. It's about your generosity, because some people are not fit for the position. You know, some people are not fit for power, and people won't give you power. They won't give you authority if you come across like a cheap SOB who won't do anything for anybody else. They'll see you for what you are, and that's a tyrant in the making. And they'll just ignore you. They'll look over you. They'll pass you over. You wonder why you can't get that raise. You know, you wonder why you can't get that promotion at the job, because it's the vibes you're giving them. Try giving. Giving is better than receiving.